touch the stars.
Welcome to the morning show, fam and friends.
Before I come back down.
This is the longest running daily variety show on the planet. Let's start off with something
I
fun.
wanna touch the stars.
That is the only drum in the world for
I'll
guitar
take
players.
you away. Let me take you away. We'll take a long ride out of town. I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. You're on your own. Say goodbye to it all for now. Find yourself in Pueblo, Colorado, yeah. Up in the clouds and climbing high. I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars. No looking back, no. The sun is setting, the moon is shining down. I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars. You touch the stars before you come back down to planet. I wanna touch the stars before I come back down. You wake up in the morning, come the rising sun. You take me away again. You take me on another ride. I wanna touch the stars before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. Oh, I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. Oh, I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars. Before I come back down. I wanna touch the watch the stars. Before I come back down. Written live.
Good morning, my friends. It's the coffee break that lasts an hour. The Mark and Pires Show, day 1,835 in a row. That's right, Billy. That's right, Dunks. I've been live for 5 years in a row every single day, trying to bring this world some positivity. I'm a real estate agent, so this new thing is in the mornings. I'm going to talk to you about the market, talk to you about real estate. So just in case you ever need to buy or sell, you think of me. You say, you know what? That guy, Mark and Pires, who's been live trying to bring some positivity to this world for the last 5 years, he's a realtor, and he can help me find a great agent. Let me give him a little DM. I like to connect with my fam and friends here. This is a call-in show in the morning. You can give me a ring at 203-903-2255, and we can have a conversation about anything. It could be about real estate. It could be about anything. In fact, yesterday I was supposed to do a story about AI being able to speak to the dead. We're going to get to that one as well this morning. So we have a lot planned, but this is the show that never stops giving. So if you're interested in some connection, some live creation, some music, and some comedy, and some news, join me. I do the comedy news here. So I like to tell you the full story, but then add a little flavor in there, if you want to say. If you've seen my hilarious Baldwin news story from the other day, welcome. It's one of the funniest pieces I've done so far. When you could get into something, she's the comedy gift that keeps on giving. You know, I'm from Spain. No, you're not. I'm from Boston. How you doing over there? Oh, you from? How do you like them apples? I don't know. You got to ask Alec Baldwin how he likes them apples. You know, he thought they were Spanish apples. No, I'm sorry, from Farmington. You know, look, you got some Farmington apples. You thought you had some Spanish, Latin, crazy love situation, spicy, you know? Just spicy in the deceit department. Anyway, guys, we're at it. Obviously, everything I say is in jest. It's funny, when I make comedy news, the intention is to make people laugh, but we're living in such a sensitive world that people get cut when the wind blows. So I have to respond to people in kind, and most people are really, really awesome, and they're pumped to see a new piece of content. And they're like, great, it's something I could watch that's different than anything else. It's a guy telling the news and not just giving some sort of sordid opinion. I'm making comedy about it. Occasionally I throw in my point of view, but I really like to leave it for you guys to make that decision. I've gotten in trouble. My first TikTok platform was pulled down because all I was doing was saying words, and I was reading news stories above my head. But that was too much for TikTok. I guess the content, the stories that I was talking about, they didn't want you to hear. I tell you, in 2024, the new concept is change truth by silencing those that speak it. And that's canceled 5 years ago. Let's just keep coming back every day. But guys, when you are here, because the world is dying, you see another reason to show up. It's not because who's going to be here, because clearly I'm on YouTube. Nobody's been live here for 5 years in a row every day. No one's on right now. That's what YouTube does to me. So anyway, we're at it. We're talking real estate this morning. If you guys have any topics you want to discuss besides real estate, I can get into that as well. Thank you for the love. I really appreciate it here on TikTok. We need it. Every single day long form. Matt Zabrowski's our woohoo guy. I'm throwing it to him. Zabrosk. Woohoo! Right? You know, when you were here and you were like, could it get any better? And then Matt Zabrowski hit you with a woohoo. What's that, Zabrowski? No, Zabrowski was okay. I don't know, 8.4. No, Zabrowski. It's not Grammy worthy. He goes, I thought that was a Grammy worthy performance. You know, Matt Zabrowski is the only Grammy winner in history for a woohoo. Of course, it's just a little joke. Matt Zabrowski is really the drummer that did the woohoo on that song when I recorded it. And I only met Matt the day that he did the woohoo. I didn't know who he was. But the engineer I was working with said, you need a drummer, because I'm a one-man band. He's like, you need a drummer for your album. And I said, I don't know any drummers. I just beatbox. I was terrible at beatboxing. That's why I invented the drum, the BeatSeat. It's the only drum in the world you can play with your hands and your feet at the same time, or you can play your guitar and kick it, and it sounds like a drum kit. You can go to BeatSeat.rocks and check that out. I actually hand build them myself. I'm the inventor and patent holder, and we don't have them manufactured at some company or in China. I build them personally one by one. So if you're interested in that, check it out. The origin story is even a little bit better than that, because now the new thing is I cut the wood myself. I have a couple people that call me when logs fall in the woods. And they're like, look, we're getting rid of these huge trees that fell. There's a few walnut and maple and cherry. Do you want to come down and cut some? And so, yeah, I go down there with my Alaskan chainsaw, and I'm milling wood now to then build for you guys. So when you order a BeatSeat from BeatSeat.rocks, not only are you getting a drum built in the United States, but you're getting a drum built in the United States by a guy who invented it, built it himself, and prior to that, cut the wood for you. That's as hand-built as you can get. That's like 1600s, 1700s hand-built. Like, oh, Thomas, we want you to build us a table. Oh, okay, sure, I'll build you a table. What kind of table do you want? Walnut? I can do that. I can make you a walnut table. Thomas goes out, grabs the old, he cuts the log, lets it dry for 2 years. Make said table out of the walnut that was in his backyard. That's what we're doing with the BeatSeat. The BeatSeat you get made of walnut was a piece of a tree here in Connecticut that fell down and I cut. And now the wood is downstairs drying. We're going to do a whole behind the scenes thing here on the show where I go down and show you guys all the wood that I've cut for the BeatSeat for my second business. I'm a real estate agent, and then I also invented this drum. So besides hosting the longest running daily variety show on the planet, 1,835 days in a row today, guys. We're on our way to 1,900 in a row and then 2,000 days in a row. This is something no one's ever, I don't believe, has ever done before, especially when they're canceled. But I just keep showing up like a freaking mental case. The BeatSeat's amazing. Just the BeatSeat alone should have its own following. The only drum in the world for guitar players, the only drum in the world you could sit completely upright and play with your hands and feet at the same time. It's mind-blowing that they hide that from you as well. They hide me, I get. I'm very controversial because I say things that are true and you should hear, but then I get in trouble for saying them in the moment when they're actually happening, only for you to one day, maybe in 5, 10, 15 years, go back and say, that motherfucker was right on everything. Now, you could call me Mark Stradamus. You know, Nostradamus was an interesting guy, but he's got nothing on this show. I mean, we're talking about 5 years in a row of 100% of the things I said coming true. I mean, maybe not 100%, but pretty much. And it was all said in comedy. That's the thing that's very frustrating. It's not like I was here trying to take down anybody. Well, sort of. I was trying to alert people to Sleep Sofa Joe. And so I made the Donald Trump show, and that in turn was what got me canceled from you guys. The Donald Trump show, if you're interested to see what got Mark Inspires canceled 5 years ago, is a parody satire feature film now. I made it in my 9th feature film on YouTube. It's called The Donald Trump Show Movie. You can go check it out right now. It's 4+ hours of face swaps. If you guys know what face swaps are, or deep fakes, you're looking at Donald Trump, but I'm speaking. You're looking at Joe Biden and you're seeing everything bad that Joe Biden ever did. Now here's the concept. My concept was pretty simple. I saw all these talking heads pulling on things that Joe Biden was doing, and then they'd commentate on it. And they'd have millions of people watching on a daily basis as they picked on things that Joe Biden was doing, sleeping in his basement, all this weird stuff. And I was like, this isn't even good, and there's millions of people tuning in. And I'm like, I'm a celebrity impressionist. I do Donald Trump. How much funnier would it be if Donald Trump was commentating on all the stupid stuff that Joe Biden's doing? So this is a 4-hour and 20-minute movie of Donald Trump roasting Joe Biden. That's basically, it's the roast of Joe Biden by Donald Trump. That should change the name of the fucking movie. It's the roast of Joe Biden by Donald Trump. It's the Donald Trump show, but it's the roast of Joe Biden. It's a 4-hour roast of Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and President G-Hole. Yeah, I have names for everybody. Mark Zuckerdick. That's right. I'm live on your platform right now, Zuckerdick. You're not only a Zuckerchooch, you're a Zuckerdick. And you've kept the world from this show 1,835 days in a row. So you could go zuck yourself up, do whatever. But you're an alien, I'm pretty sure. Adreno, he's doing it. Anyway, guys, so I'm Zuckerchooched. Even it's kind of interesting. We're live on X right now. No one sees it. Like, I was thrown into that hole on X too, and Elon didn't clear everybody when he bought it. He cleared like a few people. A couple people like, yay, I could be seen. And I'm like, I got 5,000 posts on X. No one's seen any of it. So it's like, I'm in that hole the CIA and FBI created for everybody who was saying things they thought were going to hurt their prize sleep sofa, bumbling Biden. And that was, that's my sin, guys, is I made comedy. And that's just the way it goes, right? Salmon's in the house. How are you, my friend? So good to see you. When you make comedy, but it's the wrong comedy, guys, they cancel you. Look at Dave Chappelle. Look at this Matthew Rife guy. They want to cancel people for making jokes. The issue with this, guys, is when the world goes awry, the only thing you have to keep you tethered to reality is comedy, is people poking fun at the insanity. If you go and then cancel those people for poking fun at insanity, then you are literally doing what I said earlier, which is trying to silence truth in order to usher in new truth. It's not truth, falsehood. These are lies. These things don't exist. You can't get mad at someone for making a joke. If you don't like someone's joke, you have two options. On the phone, you can use your stupid finger and scroll, right? Or you can get your big tub of a butt who only wants to complain when people create and walk the fuck out the door. Nobody needs you there. There are thousands, hundreds, 5, whatever people standing around wanting to see the thing that's on stage. They're wanting to laugh at every joke that this guy tells, Dave Chappelle or whoever. They don't care what he says if there's a line that you see. Your line doesn't exist. Comedy, there's very few lines that I'd say you could cross. Comedy it's supposed to surprise you, you freaking moron. It's like these people who allow themselves to be offended by comedy. You shouldn't watch comedy then. Good comedy pushes envelopes. Good comedy takes something that you're expecting and slaps it in the freaking face. This is the issue we have in the world today. When someone differentiates by being funny or saying something that's unexpected, it's cancelable. That's a cancelable offense. And what are we, crazy? Yes, clearly. Twilight Zone 2024, where you're going to cancel Matthew Rife for making a joke or Dave Chappelle for making jokes about the insanity that someone could think that they're a zebra. I'm all for people doing whatever the hell they want. 30 years ago, people were allowed to pretend they were zebras. 30 years ago, they were allowed to go and be with whatever the hell they wanted to. Nobody gave a crap. It's when you start trying to change the norm in society as to be your insane, ideology, then we have a problem. Again, facts need to continue. We have to keep the truth. It's very important. Deviation from the truth only gets somebody to be pulled back to the truth, not the other way around. Oh, guys, this mental case wants to cancel Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan. We should let that happen because that person's offended. You're one person. Joe Rogan had 11 million followers or something like that. And one person's offended by the fact that he was right, by the way, and everything, his protocol was absolutely dead on. And people like me who said that the whole time because we had doctors on our shows were canceled and pulled down, and different episodes were taken down. So I just want to say on the side note, comedy is something that should be cherished. It should be protected. You don't allow the comedians who are out there taking risks to make people laugh to be canceled. You cancel the idiot who has something to say. There's a creator literally making something happen right there. And you're a nobody who's offended because you can't create. There are two types of people in this world, creators and destructors. And then there's the third who are supporters. It's a smaller group, but you tend to have people who can't, who want to pull down people who can. It's very annoying. And I'll see that, a great example. I put out this Hilaria Baldwin news story. It's the funniest thing I've ever done. And if you can't laugh at that, you're clearly Hilaria's brother. And so I'm looking and I see this guy who's like, unsubscribe. And I'm like, oh, dagger in the heart. This guy's unsubscribing from me. And so I look at his page. He has 2 followers and 36 people that he does follow. And I'm like, wait a second. You follow 36 people and now you're down to 35 and I'm supposed to be upset about that? I'm not upset about that. But if you can't laugh at the fact that she still thinks she's Spanish in 2024 and walks around saying things like "bonitos." And guys, I went to Spain, so I'm Spanish. If you can't laugh at that, you have a problem. Something going on in here and here, really. Because comedy is, again, push the envelope. Push the envelope. There's so many amazing, funny bits in that Hilaria Baldwin. It's hilarious. And all you have to do is tune in. It's 21 minutes long. But you have to tune in because my content grows. It gets better as you go. Like, it's funny and gets funnier and funnier as you go. Because it's all live improv. I'm reading a news story. You're going to see it right now. I'm going to read you a couple of news stories. Oh, how are you, Def Logic? Good to see you from Australia, my friend. Appreciate you. And Salmon's kicking it with me. I appreciate you guys being here because it's clearly another day of YouTube putting me in the trash and pushing, release into the ocean for only the sharks to eat. I started this morning show. I didn't know if anybody would be able or interested in me going to mornings. I feel like they should because the things I say here, especially when we're into the inspiration, it's like really powerful energy. And then I'm writing songs at 432 hertz, which is a healing frequency. So I thought, get some songs out in the morning, get people amped. But I can't seem to get people to know I'm on. Thanks, YouTube. And we're growing, which is nice. Went from like 10,000 subs up to 13,500 and change. We're up at 13,006 now. And that's not an easy thing to do on YouTube. So thank you, all of you who have subscribed. But you're still not finding The Daily Show. They're still keeping that from you. And so I really implore you to seek me out. YouTube will hide me every day of my life. And I'll be here every day of my life live, putting on a show for you. It's been 1,835 days in a row. There's nobody else on planet Earth that could say that to you, that they've been here long form every day for 1,835 days, 5 years plus in a row. And it'd be different if I'm an 18-year-old guy, doesn't have any kids and married, but I'm married and I have 3 kids. And I do this for 5 years in a row every day to 3 people, to 4 people. And why? Why do you keep going when you know you've been canceled? Well, again, if someone does come across these messages, you're going to understand that there's a guy who didn't give up. I didn't give up on my content. I'm not giving up on the amazing content we've created in the last 5 years. I played 3 songs the other day from day 600 in a row, day 450 in a row. They're just as freaking awesome as the songs I'm writing today. They're just a different vibe. It was with my acoustic guitar. It's with my jazz guitar. But the friggin' songs are fire. They're all on my albums. I got 209 songs on iTunes and Spotify that no one's heard. Go to Mark, just type in Mark Pires on iTunes and Spotify. Spotify, it's free. It's free. Just throw me in your playlist, guys. You get a full day of music. Literally 24 hours worth of music. 209 songs. Next album puts me somewhere around the Beatles, but I don't think they're anything Beatles quality, but I would say this is pretty fire.
I wanna touch the stars before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars.
I wrote that 4 days ago live. I loop everything here in the moment. I wrote this last night. I don't even know what it was. I think it was more of a jam. Oh, no, I erased it. Sorry. This is slow. I don't know why this keeps happening with my timing. Look at that. Something happened with my tempos. You know what it is? Let me see if I can figure that out. Clearly hit my... I'm going to have to erase all this now. Even this one was fire, too. No!
You gotta be
No! Come on, tempo. It's not even working now. So last night when I was hitting buttons, I hit the tempo button clearly, and now I don't know how to switch it, but It's at 116.50, came down from 233. 233 beats a minute in half. I don't know how I did it. Really have no idea how the tempo thing works. I thought I could just tap it, but it's not working, so clearly I've done something wrong. Anyway, I guess I have to erase all the banks. We have 4 new banks to work with tonight. That'll be pretty sweet. Actually, I saved it, didn't I? I did. I saved it. I can go back. We'll pull them back up. So, guys, let's get into the news. I have a couple of stories for you today. Thank you for indulging me as I share a couple of details. Salman, thank you very much for leaving some extra comments here, my brother. Salman's from Bangladesh. You're my man. I appreciate it. He said, I'll always stay with you. You rock. And DM Ryan, my brother. So if you happen to find this feed ever in the future, say something in the chat. Say something in the comments section. Anything. Hey, I found this one. It could be in the year 2742. Remember, I come back as Future Mark in the year 2769. It's a journey. It's my 8th feature film on YouTube. My name is Future Mark. I'm from the year 2769. Do everything, really. All right, let's get this story up. I want to just run through this quickly. Oh, actually, I think we have to go through that alien thing, the AI thing, really quick. This is going to be super quick because I've been talking about it for 2 days and I didn't do anything with it. So let's pull this story. About AI generating AI to resurrect the dead. Gosh almighty, this sounds like a bad idea. Very bad idea, you know. But we're going to get into it. We're going to see what the hell they have to say about it, you know. Let's see. All right. I'll be able to read it as well while you guys watch it. Let me see if I could just clean this up a little. I don't like seeing that thing in the bottom here. There we go. No? Thank you. All right. So, all right, let's see what we got here. This is a news story, guys. If you want to head over to YouTube, you can see it better. You actually see a visual of the story we're going over, and I'm going to read the full story for you. That's what I do here on the show. Let's see what we got. Using generative AI to resurrect the dead will create a burden for the living. I thought it said a technology, like a technology company, Joanne, but no, it's AI technologies. This is what happens when you don't read ahead while you're reading. This is what it's funny because people wonder, how can you read news stories without reading them first? When you study acting, because I did this when I was younger, you study a script or you cold read. The way you cold read is while you're reading whatever the friggin' heck it is you're reading, you're actually reading a couple words ahead already in your mind. It's not easy to do this, guys, but I do it. And as I'm reading, let's call it a second or 2 seconds sometimes when I'm feeling really mentally acute, I can see what's there. And while I'm speaking different words, I have an idea how those words will interact with those next words, and everything then seems like I've said it 50,000 times. And that's the only way I can explain this. This thing keeps popping up. My goodness. Let me make sure you guys didn't get another pop-up from them. No, okay, good. So, that's what I'm doing when I cold read for you. AI technologies promise more chatbots and replicas of people who have passed, but giving voice to the dead comes at a human cost. Given enough data, one can feel like it's possible to keep their dead ones alive. With ChatGPT and other powerful large language models, it is feasible to create a more convincing chatbot of a dead person. But by doing so, especially in the face of scarce resources and inevitable decay, ignores the massive amounts of labor that go into keeping the dead alive online. Someone always has to do the hard work of maintaining automated systems, and demonstrated by the worked and overworked and underpaid annotators and content moderators behind generative AI. So this isn't really generative AI to resurrect. So they're just creating that, a fake version of your loved one so you could keep talking to someone who died, but you're not really talking to them because they died. This is stupid. I don't even like this story anymore. Let's just read how dummies are going to do this, because that's just like, I'm living in the past. Let me talk to a computer and pretend it's my loved one when there's no freaking way. Here's the thing, guys. This gets back to the other insanity. If they can get you to go along with things like, I'm a zebra, then they can push this crap on you too and say, guys, look, it is your loved one. We figured out how to connect you with your loved one. Ugh. All right, let's read this deceitful new business that they're creating around loved ones that have passed away. From managing a digital estate, did we do this one? No. After gathering passwords and account information to navigating a slowly decaying inherited smart home, digital death care practices require significant upkeep. Content creators depend on the practices require significant upkeep. We just said that. Oh. See, this is what happens when you're also cold reading. The story's over there, and I'm trying to come back to the camera over. Can we move the story somehow, Joanne? Joanne, stop wheezing back there. Gosh almighty. Gosh. Guys, I'm trying to do a story. Joanne's wheezing. Oh, my God. That wasn't me. I mean, I moved in my chair, but that was Joanne doing a tutor-looter. Anyway, I moved the screen, thanks, because Joanne's doing nothing but wheezing back there. Content creators depend on the back-end labor of caregivers and a network of human and non-human entities, from specific operating systems and devices to server farms. To keep digital heirlooms alive across generations, updated formats, and keeping those electronic records searchable, usable, and accessible requires labor, energy, and time. This is a problem for archivists and institutions, but also for individuals who may want to preserve the digital beings of their dead kin. And even with all of this effort, the devices, the formats, and websites also die, just as we frail humans do. Despite the fantasy of an automated home that can run itself in perpetuity, or a website that can survive for centuries, planned obsolescence means these systems will most certainly decay. As people tasked with maintaining the digital belongings of dead loved ones can attest, there's a stark difference between what people think they want or what they expect others to do. And the reality of what it means to help technologies persist over time, the mortality of both people and technology means that these systems will ultimately stop working. That's kind of something I hadn't thought about, like with YouTube. One day there will be an end to YouTube, and all my content will be gone forever. All 4,000 pieces that I created hoping to save this world or bring people together, protect us from what's coming next. Early attempts to create AI-backed replicas of dead humans certainly bear this out. Interlear's virtual eternity based in Scottsdale, Arizona, launched in 2008, used images and speech patterns to simulate humans' personality, perhaps filling in for someone at a business meeting or chatting with grieved loved ones after a person's death. Guys, I'm not into this. This is bad. You know, guys, don't do this. Don't live in the past. You got one moment, okay? I'm gonna share a little piece of knowledge with you that I believe is very important. I wrote a song called, I think it was called, it may have been the song Old Soul. But there's a song I wrote, no, I'm sorry, it was the song I wrote for one of our family members. And it was a song about, her son had passed away, and I wrote a song for her. And you guys could go back and listen to the song. I don't even know where it is. I didn't release it on an album yet. It's a beautiful song. And the line in there is, and these moments happen here. That's all I can tell you is these are moments. And right in the middle of this moment, I saw this visualization how someone's losing their loved one, and they're spending their entire life now thinking and missing that person and always wanting to be and always thinking about those moments and like sad and depressed their entire life until they meet back up again. And they finally meet back up, and this is all in the song. They finally meet back up, and their loved one says to them, I literally closed my eyes, and when I opened them, you're here. But for you, you spent 40 years missing me and not enjoying the life you have. While that entire time went, my blink of an eye was 40 years. So don't live in the past, and don't forget that you have a moment to live yourself. It's an amazing reality that we have to swallow, that time doesn't exist for those that pass on. It exists to us alone. And we have to somehow figure out how to cut ourselves off, not in a mean and cold, calculated way, but in a way that you understand that loss makes you stronger in some weird way, and that there are memories that you could hold on to that make you also reflect on your character and your spirit, and they maybe bring some emotions back to you that you've lost and that you've forgotten, because we're dealing with a world that beats you down and it dulls emotions in the process. And that, I believe, is one of the biggest issues we have in this world today, is that they constantly berate you with the negativity to dull it all. So there's no connection to how messed up things are. They're trying to desensitize you to the insanity of the world. So then one day you're just like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's Jill. She's a zebra. And you look at it, it's a kid, but you have to tell her she's a zebra because she feels like a zebra. And it's like, go and be you. You know what you are. If you're a zebra, look in the freaking mirror and say, I'm a zebra. Just don't tell everybody else to tell you you're a zebra. That's just stupid. I have to affirm myself. I have to say it to, who am I affirming? What are we talking about here? Am I affirming the lie? That's what I have to do, is affirm the lie. That's why I get in trouble when I say this simple thing. It's a very simple thing. I am phobic of fear. I'm phobic of lies and falsehoods. That's it. I can't. I feel like I would go into a corner and not be able to leave if I had to tell people things that aren't true. It's just who I am. And so when I'm sitting there seeing the world today, and it's like, oh, I have to then pretend that all these girls that are standing there, and there's a 6'2" giant that's a dude, but now has long hair and went through hormone therapy recently, that's a girl. And it's like, I don't understand how stupid we are. I'm a guy who grew up with, I don't know, it's also something weird. I don't know why I don't see people, where is all the backlash from the people who are like, wait a second, I had a protected group, and now there's no protection for my groups anymore. Women are just thrown to the wayside. What happened to all the feminists? They're just allowing this to take place, that women don't exist and that men can be women. It's such a stupid concept. If you can't make a baby, then and not because you have some sort of medical issue, but if you're not designed and scientifically created to make babies and to be the one who has eggs that creates and forms children inside of your uterus, I think that's where it is. You know what I mean? That's just science, guys. You know what I mean? You could be and feel like you're many things. We used to have tomboys. What happened to all this stuff? They don't exist anymore. They don't exist. It's really, really weird to see. And why am I on this? Stupid. AI. All right, so AI's done, guys. I'm moving on to the real estate story. I'm not getting controversial on any of this crap. I'm done talking about it. It's not getting me anywhere anyway, clearly. But it's like, I just have a hard time with the affirming lies. I can't do that. I can only affirm truth, because that's the word means. Affirm is like a positive thing. Yeah, that is that. Because I could see, and I can use my senses. Oh, what's going on over here? Clearly, this is not the best story because it's not coming through in black. Let's do this. I'm going to put ones here and see what happens. I have no idea what this means. I think one is black, but I don't know. Pfft, nailed it. Except, where's the guy? All right, there we go. All right, hold on, Amana. We're going to try one other thing. So I'm messing with all kinds of stuff here. We're going to go back to 0 on this one. Let's just see what this does. No. One more try. Let's go 1001. Let's see what that does. I'm trying to get the letters to show up in white. Maybe it's just 1000. We're trying that, guys. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so the background's clearly the last one. I'm figuring this all out in real time. This is what we do. All right, let's try this. Oops. Come on, give us some luck. No. Look, we're going to deal with it. It just looks like that. And you can sort of see it in the background there. Housing market woes extend into 2024. Low supply and unaffordability. Yes, Virginia. Virginia says you are telling truth. I know. That's probably the issue, is that I keep saying things that are true. And, it's funny. Like, you know what we used to have? We used to have the ability to be seen. So if someone did have a message that can really help the world, you could just everybody could tune into it. It's like TV. You just tune in, you get that piece of news. Everybody's like, yeah, I didn't like that part. I love that part. And like they could all at least witness it. And it's like the 21st generation along that used to have like a mountaintop. You go to a mountaintop, you'd be like, ladies, gentlemen, lend me your ears, and then you grab the guitar and you're rocking out all of a sudden, 2,000 years ago, first guy with a guitar. Jesus' cousin, Yahushua, just don't call him Jesus. It's not his name. It's on the mountaintop. So you can get enough people to hear the word, to be with you in the moment. And there are very, very powerful moments on a daily basis that take place here. I don't know if everything is worthy of world viewing, but there are moments in every single show where the whole world should be able to tune in and get something from it and say, you know what? Yeah, wait, that's a pretty interesting depiction of the current reality we are living today. And I'm just seeing it as a guy who doesn't watch the news. Like, you have to understand, there are people who study the news all day long, but they're studying the lies because the news is telling you what they want you to see, and they're hiding all the things that they don't want you to know about. This is just, journalism 101. Tell the story that leads, that bleeds, whatever they call it. If it bleeds, it leads. These people do not want to bring us together. They want to divide us. It's a sad thing because connected we are so strong. We could do so much with our lives if we were helping each other through every single day. And it's a simple way to think about life, that like we're born from one source of energy. When we come to this planet, we're born just on a location. We don't have any control over where and to who we are born, okay? When God decides to send us here, and now we're populated on a region of this earth that is taught a certain ideology, taught certain religions. The whole point of this existence of ours is to figure out how to get back to chapter 1, the source. Okay, well, before I got here and I was born to my parents who are Muslim, or I was born to my parents who are Jewish, or born to my parents who are Christian, I came from source. If we could all realize we came from that source before we were just thrown into this crazy world of ours. Back to chapter 1 is how we connect, and we rise above ideology. We rise above things like skin color because you realize they don't exist. You realize that from source, it's one pure energy. It's light. It's white. They say that pure white has actually every single color in it. That's the craziest thing I ever heard when I heard that. I'm like, what? Yeah, if you put every color in the world together and you throw it together, that's white. I'm like, no, that's like the opposite of white. Huh? Like you put black in with everything and then you get white? Like, yep. And that's like a thing, guys. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, so if pure white is every color in the world, then God is pure light. We all come from that, and we are distributed around this planet as a color in that rainbow of a single color. We are born one color and shades of said color. And that's why I love everybody. My best friend in high school, Jermaine, was a black kid. I didn't care about his skin color. He freaking shined like the sun. I love that kid. Like we are star seeds on this planet trying to figure out how to grow and try to how can we connect and bring people in. And when you see somebody else out there who has something unique within them, and it attracts you to them to be around, It's not their skin color that's drawing you to them. It's their acts. It's the heart within. So all I can say is get back to chapter 1. Figure out how to get back to start before you opened your eyes for the first time, before your first memory. That's when we are connected with the Creator as that single, amazing color of bright white light. I guess that if you think about how when you look at light from certain angles, you get that rainbow. I guess that's because every color is in there, you know? But it's just a weird thing to visualize. And as a human, our feeble minds can't even comprehend how every single color could go into the color white. And then how nobody else has tied that to what I just said. Okay, so, and then you know what it would happen, because all the people who aren't white, because the traditional white would be like, see, they're trying to whitewash it again and take credit for that it's all white. No, it's light. We are all light. We are light beings, and we are shades of color on that light. And I don't know, I remember like when I was a kid, like a Ben Moore color chart. My mother's an interior designer, and you'd pull out these color charts. It'd be, and like you'd have every color from like 0000 up to like 109999. You know what I mean? Like from all the way across the spectrum, they were all numbered. I'm like, that's what we are. We're a number on a single color chart. That's what we are. And if you and me and everybody else started thinking in those terms, racism's done, but that's what they don't want. You understand, right? I think you get that. This is generated by the leaders to create and institute civil war. They want us in the streets. They want to be able to say, today, this white guy and attacked this. Oh, so let's call it some black guy shoots somebody, and then in retaliation they shoot back, and the white guy actually hits the black man after being shot, and because of that, now that guy has rioters outside of his house because he's racist. It's like, no, he got shot at, and he returned fire, and he was a better shot. It's not because he's white that he was a better shot. Maybe he went to the range a little more, and maybe he just got a better, what's it called? Cross thing. You know what I mean? The crosshairs. He got a better crosshairs look on the guy. But my point being, you have to understand what is the story, not just the surface shit they're trying to sell us. And it's always controversy. Color. That's what you should pay attention to when you look at news stories. Is within the first couple words something about race? Just scroll, dude. Just scroll. That's a gaslighting story. It's all gaslighting. When you have the current president coming out and bashing on the supporters of his competitor, it's gaslighting. A guy who said he's going to bring the country together has been more divisive than anybody else in history. I've never seen anything like this. Never seen anybody treat the American people like this. And then to outright lie to them and send hundreds of billions of dollars out of the country to a country, by the way, that his son was doing business with prior to him being president. And I'll say one thing to anybody who comes across this and says, well, there's no proof that there's corruption. There's no proof that his son was involved in anything weird. Then why was that guy not working with anybody who's an ally? You tell me why Hunter B. wasn't working with any allies. He wasn't working with England. He wasn't working with Canada. Wasn't working with Mexico. He's working with Ukraine, China, and Russia. No corruption there. You should hear how stupid you sound when you say it. Only working with our enemies while his father's vice president. No corruption there. And that gets me in trouble. Like I've been pulled down on TikTok before for saying things like this. And it's like, wait, I'm just speaking the facts. That a son got $5 million as a payout for whatever, Burisma oil, all these things. And now we are in the back pocket of Ukraine throwing our tax money into their pocket to corrupt this corrupt government, and they're distributing it to all of their cronies. And they want more money, and it's like it's a freaking fake narrative that we could beat Russia with Ukraine. Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys got it. You guys got it against them. It's mental. And we sit here and I'm like, yeah, look, we're winning. Look at Putin. He's on the run. Putin's not using American dollars anymore. He's gotten China to not do it. And Saudi Arabia is talking about it. Guys, we are on the friggin' ropes here, and they lie to us over and over and pretend it's not going on. Oh, we're doing a great job. Inflation's down. Inflation's down. Everything's through the roof. I don't know what you're talking about. Inflation's down. A bottle of stupid coffee from Starbucks is $4.50. They charge $8 and change for coffee at Starbucks. Don't tell me inflation's down. I don't go to Starbucks. I'd hear from that from my daughter. Like, what are you kidding me? $8.50 for a coffee? I make my own coffee every day. That's why I buy my own beans. I'm not going to buy their shit. Their coffee sucks anyway. Man, I'm on a roll today. Woo! Right? I'm not playing anymore. I mean, I never have been. I always just say it how it is. Elaine, how are you? Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Elaine. I get a little heated, you know. And this, my friends, is why it's been impossible for the Mark Inspire show to grow. I just keep getting myself in trouble by saying how I feel about things. And I didn't think that was a problem, but 2024, it's a problem, guys. You got to come out and go, oh, guys, news of the day. Oh, the sun is out.
No, it's not out. It's a flat Earth.
Well, I would look into it, guys. I mean, I had Flat Earth Dave on this show. And he thought that I was going to be like against him and we were going to get into some fight. I kind of like wish that I was a little more controversial with him because when he came on and he realized that I'm an open mind and like I'm here to hear what he had to say, he was like, oh, I thought you were going to be against me. And I was like, no, I kind of open to the concept because I don't understand how water could be under us. Just sounds stupid, you know, like, oh, it's just stuck to the earth. Okay. All right. It's more realistic that we're sitting in a bowl and there's water, just like any other bowl you'd ever see in your life. And when people say they're going north and south and everywhere else, they're just going like this. They're just going like that around the top. We can't sense it because we're mental. But I'm you know, I haven't flown that much in my life, but I've never felt a plane while it's up at 36,000 feet go down to 36,000, tilting the nose. There's no tiltage at all. The freaking nose is up like this. They fly like that. So it's as flat as can be up there, which means it's flat as can be down below. And my other takeaway was, and this is a very simple one for me as a drone operator, I was the first person to buy a drone in 2013. I was all over the news in Connecticut about it because as a realtor, I had this concept to provide a new service to my clients free of charge, which is to shoot aerial photography of their properties. And then also my bigger picture was to be able to get buyers to spend more time on my listings. That first photo, I learned people were spending about a second and a half on that first photo. If they didn't like it, they were scrolling to the next property. So I said, how do I get people to get to my next photo, get to all my 20 photos, 30 photos? And I said, I need to have the most amazing first picture. It has to show the expansiveness to the property. And I said, that's why I could either hire a helicopter guy for $350 to go and fly from 600 feet in the air and telephoto in, or I get a drone. And nobody else had thought about it because it was about $5,000 for a drone at the time. But I bought it because I knew that the world would be drones going forward. So I was all over the news in 2013. But the one thing I can tell you is when I put my drone up in the air, and I just put it right up there, and I don't set it to GPS, so it's not like it's locked in. I just set it up there and let it sit. I could literally walk away for 10 minutes. It's right above my head still. It's right above my head. If the earth was moving, then we would have been somewhere else, especially at 1,000 miles an hour. You know, we would have been somewhere else. My drone's right above my head a minute later, 5 minutes later. I could put a deck of 52 playing cards up and leave it there for 10,000 years. It will still be there when somebody else finds it. Stack rocks, same thing. For this math to work, the earth would have to slow down and speed up, and we would feel any movement at all if that took place. So this hogwash that we're moving at the same speed for eternity and then we're chasing the sun at 400,000 miles an hour. It's like, oh my goodness. And you say that my religion's crazy? You know? I think that's funny. There's that guy, Kent. Can't think of his last name, but he said that to someone. He goes through the whole list. He's like, wait a second. You believe that there's nothing. There's a ball. There's like this marble. And then all of a sudden there's an explosion into nothing. There was nothing. There's no space for this explosion to expand into. But there, now all of a sudden there is. It expands. And then all of a sudden, and we now expand on a flat plane. Okay? We expand on a flat plane when this explosion took place, the Big Bang hypothesis or whatever the frick they call it. And as it's expanding, I don't know, let's call it like 14 trillion or 14 billion years later, you're born. From dust, from dirt. You came from dirt. Your eyes and all the uniqueness and amazingness that's us. We came from dirt, guys. Just some weird process. Chaos. And everything else came from that same dirt, guys. Everything you see. This stick of wood all came from that dirt. Yeah. And then he goes back. He says back to the guy, and you call my religion crazy? And he's like, you guys are a religion. And I was like, wow. It's the first time I realized that science is a religion. It's not real. There is 99.9% of science that's real. But when they can't answer questions like, how did this all start? And explain why you're right and God doesn't exist, they're all full of shit. It's a religion. And Darwin was a Satanist. Look it up, okay? His goal with his life was to break you away from God by having you be fooled that you came from a chimpanzee. How stupid. How stupid is anybody to believe we came from a primate like that? We didn't come from a chimpanzee. We came from a human, maybe a Cro-Magnon or maybe a Denisovian, but we came from something that's like us. You don't become from animal, okay? Oh, well, 99.9% of the DNA. No, that's bullcrap numbers. Go and look at the information. They kept like 2.1 billion cells, gene cells aside because they were close, but they weren't close enough. So they said, yeah, we'll just forget about those. But these were 99.9% alike. Let's just talk about that. It's probably more like 65%, 66% were similar to chimpanzees. That's the way I saw it when I looked at that math. However, regardless of that, I've been here for 40 plus years. You guys have been here. Now we've been here as a human race for how long? Has anybody ever seen a human born of a chimpanzee? No, because it's stupid. It will never happen. Oh, well, that's because millions of years, and then the chimpanzee pooped out a freaking human. Sounds just so as stupid as there was a big bang, and then you're here. Okay. That's so much more intelligent than an intelligent creator actually made you, formed all of this. No, chaos is what formed all of this.
God doesn't exist.
Oh, that's the lie of the world that we're living in, is to get you to believe that God doesn't exist when that's the biggest sin. These people are trying to further their lives on this earth. They think that this earth is the one that matters because there are things here. But one day you realize you can't take any of it with you. And all you have left are the decisions you made and that heart that you continue to let beat the way you let it beat. You could either be affected by those around you and lift them up, or you could be the one who's going to have to pay for those decisions later on in life. There's a famous quote by the guy who started the Church of Satan, I believe. He wrote the books on all of this stuff. And I've gone down rabbit holes on all this stuff because it's very interesting to me how there are people who live their lives this way. And they literally will cast spells on people, just weird stuff. And it happens. This is a real thing in the world. And so I looked into it a little. And Leroy something, I think his name was. If anybody, LeVay something. You guys know who I'm talking about. This guy LeVay, and it's funny because they say his daughter looks exactly like Taylor Swift. And if you look at photos, it's like, oh my goodness. It's really weird. But LeVay, he had this, or Albert Pike, I think it was actually. I'm sorry. He was starts this whole thing with Satan and giving up on God. And at the very end, the last thing he said was, something's wrong. Something's wrong. This is not, I got to pull it up now, what he said, but it was really frightening. Because he's dying, and as he's dying, he sees he's going to hell. That's basically what I saw. Albert Pike, I think his name was. Let's see if this is it. that's not it. Is it? No. What's that guy's name, guys? Anton LaVey. Maybe it was him. Does anybody remember who it was who said that other thing about something's wrong with the Church of Satan? Unbelievable. Can't believe that these people even exist. Let's see what this says. Who was the guy who created it? Levian Satism. Yeah, so this was him. Maybe it was him. Anton LaVey. That's who it was. Yeah, thank you very much, S. Coop. So this guy's a creep. I don't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was now, but somebody had said this thing at the end. They were like, something's wrong. And they realized that they were pushing this Satanist agenda for so long. And when they were left at that last moment with their decisions, the response was, something's wrong. This isn't what I expected. I made a big mistake. That's what he said. Something's wrong. I've made a huge mistake. Oh, go find that, guys. That blew my mind. This guy was like, Satan, Satan, Satan. And as he's dying, he goes, something's wrong. I've made a huge mistake. Yeah, you go follow Satan. Go ahead, guys. And that's the thing. The issue is he rules this world. That's the one thing that kind of sucks. That's why people give themselves to him. It's because he rules this world. And you got to be a warrior of God. You got to fight for what's right in this world. And I don't know. It's funny because people will say to themselves, like, well, what's good and what's bad? I feel like you know what's good. You can feel when you're doing something good, and you can feel when you're doing something that's not right. It's like this weird, natural understanding of good and evil. Like you don't even have to have anybody tell you, and you know it's good or it's evil. I used to talk about this thing early on in the show. I kind of veered away from it, but it's very true. We, in the book, in the Bible, even in my 1775 Bible, there are terms like good and evil throughout. Good and evil and good. And I realized that, we've just shifted these words in the 2020s. People use two different words to represent the same exact moral dilemma. It's positive and negative. So we've gone from saying good and evil to positive and negative. No difference. And when I say to you guys, look, this is the ultimate positivity show on earth, this is the ultimate show of good. That's fact. I'm here telling you the truth, writing songs in the moment, getting into comedy, and allowing this moment to breathe and bring us somewhere. That is the ultimate show of good, the ultimate positivity show. When you go on a platform where someone's trying to rip you down, trying to make you feel like you're lesser than, and telling you you're not good enough, or they're just trashing the world in a different way. I'm trashing the evil of this world. I hope you guys know that. And that's just because I see how it's being pulled in front of our eyes. But there's negativity and there's positivity. There's good and there's evil. I would venture to say that when people get out there in front of you and they say things like, go take this thing that has not been proven. There's literally been no scientific data at all because we just created it in, last 9 months. But you should do it because of grandma. And by the way, it's safe. It's effective. We know. You're an idiot. What are you, a guinea pig? Yeah. But what are you, a cow? Are you a horse? No, you're not. So why would you take anything like that? That's evil. The evil that has been perpetuated over the last 5 years, probably, guys, that's very, very generous to say 5. It's actually more like, generous is the wrong word. It's actually more like the last 10,000 years that this evil has been ruling. It's the ruling class. And we are the minority. And in the Bible, it says that. It says that the evil thinks it's going to win. It always thinks it's going to win because it's so much. There's so much of it. And you are a lone voice in the woods. You are the tree falling that no one hears. I think what's difficult, especially as the guy who's been live for 1,835 days in a row, what's difficult is when you are the tree falling in the woods that no one hears, you're saying to yourself, well, how many freaking trees do I have to drop? How many trees do I have to drop before someone hears this? 5 years goes by and you look around, there's like only a few trees left. You're like, okay, I've done every freaking game show there is. I created 9 feature films, over 200 songs. Every night we write songs. And I speak truth every single day of existence. I'm like, how many more trees can I knock down? And still not get to the people, and still not let people hear it as it's falling or as it makes contact with the earth. So all I can say is I appreciate you guys. I hope that you will share these messages because they're powerful. And if not, they're lost in time. Yesterday's show had something like 43 views, 13,000 plus subscribers, 43 people got to see the feed. I say got to because they want to hide me from you. You see why, if you listen to this message today, you'll see why, and you very much should be subscribing and turning on notifications and spreading the word. My favorite thing to do when I was younger was to know about something that no one else knew about and then be the guy who told everybody about it. I wanted to be a promoter, a street team guy for anything that I thought was cool that no one knew about. I'd go out and promote the hell out of it. Remember, I used to listen to the Opie and Anthony show back in the day. I would tell everybody about the O&A show. Why? I didn't get any money for it because I loved the show. I thought it was a great show. I was like, these guys are laughing in the moment. Comedy's phenomenal. Anthony was a great celebrity impressionist, and I used to love that stuff as a celebrity impressionist. So I would promote those guys. And this is what I would say. If you do come across this program and you like what I say, or if you like the music or anything, just tell somebody. Tell your friends. When I'm on the air, send a little share out. Hey, guys, I know you're my sister. I think that we should, this is a family show. It really is a family show. So keep that in mind. And I will try to be back later. Ooh, it's 11. Gotta sell some real estate, guys. Remember, inventory may be low. Of course, the topic of the show winds up not even really being a part of the show. Inventory may be low, but there are ways that you could get ahead of the game. One I would say is find a real estate agent like me who's willing to do the work for you while you're at work. A lot of people are so overwhelmed with what they've got in their own lives, they also start getting a little like frazzled out or maybe even burned out because now they're also trying to take on the responsibility of learning real estate and understand the way markets move and all this stuff. You're better off finding a quality real estate agent that has knowledge and who's been doing it long enough to understand the ups and downs, and most importantly, someone who could speak well enough to negotiate on your behalf. That's what you're really looking for. That agent, again, only if they're willing to do what I'm about to tell you, that agent will go and actually research properties for you. Me, I'll go and shoot videos of my properties for my clients and send it to them while they're at work because I don't want them to miss out on an opportunity. When you're dealing with low inventory, sometimes you have one day to see that property. And if you don't get that information to your client, it's already pending. So with low inventory, the one thing I would say is find yourself a phenomenal agent that will go out there and do the footwork for you while you are at work. And you could reach me. Just send me an email, mp@markpires.com, if you have any needs at all in the real estate game, and I can help you. I can help you find a real estate agent to list your house or a real estate agent to help you buy a piece of property. It costs you absolutely nothing to do this, by the way, guys. If you're going to pick up the phone and call someone and say, hey, I need help selling my house, send me a note because that's exactly what I'd be doing too, except I'll find you the best guy instead of you saying, I need to sell. Who do I need? You never call a manager and ask them who you need because they're going to just give you the person at the lowest split. Nobody understands this. Depending on what your experience level is at a real estate firm, you make a cut for every sale. When you start in the business, the company keeps a lot more. They cut your throat because you're unexperienced and you can't go in, inexperienced, you can't go in there and say, hey, well, I demand X. They'll be like, no, you're new. You have to start at 60% or whatever it is, 55% some of these people are. And so you're starting at almost a 50-50 split with this company because even at 60-40, they then have all these other fees. So you're really at like 50-50. Okay, so now they have that, or they have an agent who's been doing it for 15 years and who's getting a top split in for commission. Who are they going to give the business to when the call comes in? Oh, sure, Tiffany, I could find you a great agent. Let me see. I've got Mark, who's experienced for 15 years and gets a top tier on commission rate. Or I got Jill, who just got her license last week and has 2 left feet. Hey, Jill, got a call for you. And by the way, we're hitting you with that extra fee because I gave you the lead. That happens too in our business. It's kind of crappy. But I just say, let me make that phone call for you, because when I call the manager, it's a little bit different of a conversation. Hey, Terry. Mark Pires. Berkshire Hathaway. New Canaan, Connecticut. Just had a quick question for you. Got a client, just looking for a good agent. Who do you got? Tell me about old Sandbag over there. Yeah, I thought so. No, I'm not interested in that one. Tell me about Jill. Jill, 2 left feet? No, I'm sorry. No, we're not doing a 2 left feet situation with this client, okay? Yeah, no, okay, tell me about Daryl. What's Daryl got going on? Oh, really? He's there for the showings? I like that. And he also dresses professionally, and he speaks to his clients on a weekly basis to discuss how the market is when they're listing the property. I like him. Let's get it going. Daryl! Where's my fake phone? Daryl. Yeah, Mark Pires, Berkshire Hathaway. I hear you got the lead from my client, Modoc Roughstock. Yeah, no, I know his real name. I'm just telling you, he's Modoc Roughstock. Just so you know, we have a nickname here on the Mark Inspire show. But listen, I just wanted you to know that Modoc needs the best agent possible. Who do you got? No, I told you I don't want 2 left. I don't want the left feet lady, Jill, double lefts, or Sandbag. I'm not looking for Sandbag. Tell me again about Daryl. I was thinking Daryl is the right guy. I'm just saying, you should look into maybe having Daryl be your guy all the time, because that thing he said about showing up there for the showings, I like that. I like to be there for showings, guys. When I have someone walking through my property and they are with an agent, I can't trust that agent knows how to sell the property. I can't even trust that agent knows how to speak. It's like if you have 60 hours that you could spend, you can get a real estate license. All right? It's not like you have to go to school for 4 years for it. That's why people are always like, oh, I'll go get my license and sell one house every 45 years. But they get the license because they had 60 hours to sit around and do the information, read the information, take the tests, and become a real estate agent. I would absolutely suggest you become a real estate agent if you are interested in working many days without getting paid. If not, and you're somebody who wants to work on a daily basis and get paid for that work, real estate is not for you. I live in a part of the country where just a good year, if you have 20 transactions, that's a ridiculously good year in Connecticut, okay? So 20 transactions, let's just say that as a base number. If you work 358 days a year, like I do, and I had 20 transactions a year, that means for 338 days a year, I work for free. Think about that. I'm not doing anything. I'm working my ass off every day. But I got paid nothing for that. And then I go and do a free show and get paid nothing for that too. So, guess what free means. But, you know what I'm saying? So this is, like, you hustle to keep, I can't tell you. I had one client, 3 years. It was actually 5 years between the day I met them and when they bought. We didn't look for 5 years. About 2 years went by, and then they started getting serious. For 3 years, though, we looked aggressively until they bought their house. That's the longest time I've waited for a client to get to a deal and figure out what they wanted to buy. But I didn't pressure them once because it's not my place to do that. They will buy the house that's right for them. You have 2 people making a decision. So I always like to step back and let them do that. And it may take 5 years. So you want an agent who's patient with you as well. Guys, send me a note. mp@markpires.com. I want to say thank you to S-Coop, to Modoc Roughstock for also sending me a lead. Like I said, guys, Modoc is living, breathing proof of somebody who needed a contact, and the people at Berkshire Hathaway were able to provide that. And it means a lot that Modoc thought of me, because he could have just made that phone call I told you that you could make, which is, hey, John, how you doing? I see you're a manager of Coldwell Banker.
Do you got an agent that could sell my house?
Yeah, sure. We got old, dumpster pan over there. Dumpster pan? She sounds good. Modoc, S-Coop, you rock. I'm going to say thank you to Elaine. Thank you for being here. Virginia, thank you for being here. Oh, my goodness. And Salmon, our buddy. Awesome seeing you guys. I will be back later. Let me say goodbye to you over here on TikTok, fam and friends. Who's with me? I got CJ and Northern Man. There we go. Sometimes it's hard to read. But I will be back later, guys. If you can, Northern Man, CJ, please head over to YouTube. Subscribe. The link is in the bio. This is 1,835 days in a row. I'm not joking about that. Literally started this on December 31st, 2018, and I've been here every day since. And I think I got canceled in April of 2019, but I kept showing up. I still keep showing up. So come and see why they're so afraid of this show. Maybe it's because I show up every freaking day and do two shows a day. And these are my songs. You got to go away. You got to go away. I will see you later, fam and friends. You got You rock, Modoc. Virginia dancing it out. Guys, have a great day. I'll be back later. Bring you some more good. Remember, this is on us to make the world a better place. It's not on the leaders. They're not going to do it. You gotta go away for now. See you later.